Well, after a spectacular pump for the CRO token, we have seen a big dip, and unfortunately, there is room for lower price levels. I want to talk to you guys about a very bullish story we're seeing about Crypto.com when it comes to actually one of its main competitors, Binance. A headline about Binance today that I think you guys will be pretty interested in that I want to share with you. And I want to talk about the price level that I'm looking at right now for CRO. And of course, I'm not a financial advisor here. Nothing is financial advice, but we talk about crypto every single day on this channel about all the crypto news. And if you want to stay updated with all things crypto, subscribe to this channel for more. And for CRO holders, you've really enjoyed a beautiful pump as we broke through a critical level at 16 cents and even broke through some of these other levels that potentially could have acted as resistance around 26, 27 cents and around the low 20-cent level. And we shot right up on that very exciting news regarding the president's crypto company to 37 cents. But since that high, we have already seen CRO coins stumble down a whopping 27% from that high. And unfortunately, it could potentially find its way down to the 20-cent level, which in total from that high would be a 45% retracement, showing you the volatility in these markets. Now, I enjoy the fact that crypto is quite volatile, and Bitcoin has also come down from a high of 124 to 108. And as all these moves are playing out, you know, what I've been doing is trading this activity. And let's talk a little bit about, why I do choose to trade and what is going on with the price action right now for CRO. But let's jump right to this Binance story. This is a story I want to share with you guys that I think you need to be aware of right now. After the spectacular news week, here's another headline about Crypto.com and Binance. Binance taps ex-Crypto.com CEO executive, or Crypto.com executive, not CEO, Crypto.com executive, to try to further their compliance, regulatory compliance. Now, why else would Binance be pursuing an ex-Crypto.com executive to get compliant unless Crypto.com is a shining beacon of compliance? Well, that is the reason. They are the shining beacon of compliance in this crypto industry. Really struggling to say the word beacon right now. And it's showing because Binance, the largest exchange in the world, is tapping into the executives from one of their competitors, Crypto.com, to better themselves on the compliance standpoint. Now, because Crypto.com has been so proper in their regulatory compliance, this is a big reason, in my opinion, that we got to see this spectacular pump for CRO the other day, driven off of the news that it was chosen by the president's crypto company. Why? Because they're one of, according to the folks from that crypto company team, they're one of the most trusted exchanges out there. Why would they choose to say those words? Because of the regulatory compliance that Crypto.com has. And this story is just doubling down on that fact of how successful Crypto.com has been in the light of all things compliance. Now, we talked about Crypto.com versus Binance in this video I did yesterday, just 21 hours ago. It got quite a bit of views. And a lot of people, I think, look at the conversation about, Crypto.com's CRO coin could surpass Binance's coin. And some of them shrug. Some people believe this, some people shrug. But this story right here, honestly, is just doubling down on this idea of Crypto.com is a real competitor to Binance here. And therefore, I do believe that the Crypto.com token could be a competitor as well. Yeah, and I talked about this in the video yesterday. I mean, if CRO could flip the market cap Binance, you really are talking about $3.74 prices, $5 prices, maybe $2 prices. Who knows? Again, I'm not a financial advisor, but I do believe, as I have for a while, that $1 to $5 could happen. I've talked a lot about a $2 to $5 price range for the CRO coin token. I still think these are very achievable, especially after this news. But that does not stop the fact that we are seeing volatility play out right now and a potential further dip for CRO. And if you guys want to take advantage of the volatility in these markets, whether you want to trade Bitcoin, maybe you think Bitcoin's going to fall a little lower in September and so will Ethereum, and you think that CRO could dip and you could take advantage and trading it to the upside, to the downside, well, you could sign up for some of the affiliates in the description down below. The place I trade the most is Blowfin. I like to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, XRP, some of the bigger coins. I don't actually like to trade CRO so much. I can swing trade CRO a little bit in my spot positions, but looking at just trading opportunities, I kind of look to some of the other coins, and these are the exchanges I use. And if you want to sign up, there's sign up bonuses for you guys. But let's talk a little bit about the dip for CRO that we can see and why this might play out. First of all, this is certainly a level to consider. Now, we are seeing Crocoin right now sitting at the 26, 27 cent level, which makes a lot of sense to me because this would certainly be a level where we could potentially park it. But here's the risk of more potential downside for CRO. If we see Bitcoin fall lower, and we are now in September, I want to remind you of the history of cryptocurrency and what we see in September's, an average of negative 3.4% gains, or losses, should I say, for Bitcoin in the month of September. A lot of people are calling for a red September. What we very well could see is this, my friends. Maybe September doesn't have to end red because there's a Fed rate cut coming. Historically speaking, Fed rate cuts are bullish for risk on assets, Bitcoin and crypto included, and CRO as well. But that's not coming to the 17th. So what we might see, and my speculation is, again, not financial advice, but I am speculating that potentially we could see Bitcoin come down to some potential lower levels, maybe down to $100,000, maybe down to bounce off basically 100K, which is a very psychological level for Bitcoin. And Ethereum could also fall down to the level of $4,000, maybe even lower, like I've been talking about for a while. If that does all pan out, even though we had the spectacular news for Crypto.com and the spectacular pump, nothing goes straight up. We're already down over 25% for CRO from the high, and we could certainly slip down a whopping 45% from that high. But does that mean that it's over for CRO or it's over for crypto? No. This is just typical volatility for cryptocurrency. Obviously, nobody can predict exactly what comes next, but a lot of people, myself included, believe that there is still remainder to this bull market to end the year. Some people are talking about an extension into 2026. I'm really not prepared to concede that that is on the table yet. I mean, I think it's on the table. I just don't think that it's probable at this point. Historically speaking, a bull market from the lows to the highs lasts about 1,070 days. There's good news and bad news in that. There's the historical moves, about 1,070 days from the lows to the highs. Here's where we're at from the low for Bitcoin to where we're at today. About 1,000 and almost 20 days into this thing, which means, at best, 50, maybe 60 days left. That's 2 months. September, October has been the prediction from a lot of people for a potential top. Again, some people think that we could extend into 2026. My more bullish case scenario is that October, November, and December could be the bullish time for crypto. October is historically a very green month. So is November, historically 46% gains in November. And December is actually oftentimes quite green as well, with an average of 4.75% gain. But in the meantime, there's volatility, which I'll continue to trade. Again, these are the platforms that I use to trade if you want to take advantage of this volatility in the market and sign up for some of these affiliates in the description of this video, pinned in the comments as well, for you guys if you want to check it out. But be prepared for a potential dip for CRO if Bitcoin and Ethereum fall. The total market cap for cryptocurrency could slip a little bit into September, but perhaps after that Fed rate cut, we might find a rally to end the month. And maybe we do end up with a green September. I'm very curious to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Let me hear what your thoughts are for September for CRO. Is this dip to 20 cents or lower on the table for Crypto.com? Or do you have another thought? I'd love to hear it from you guys. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel. DCA HODL, my friends. Of course, we'd love to see this news about the Binance team taking on ex-Crypto.com executives for regulatory compliance, improving that Crypto.com is the leader in that space when it comes to regulatory compliance. This is what has gotten it all the partnerships that it's had, and I believe it's going to be something that will get it more partnerships into the future. Very exciting time. Smash the like, subscribe to the channel. Until next time, I'll see you in the next one. 2 videos here if you want to check it out. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Peace.